Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining me, Costa, on News MTV. And this is the agenda. Of course, this is the day number 8 of the 21 lockdown days pronounced by His Excellency the President in a bid to curb the spread of the pandemic, the coronavirus. However, surprisingly, just last week, the Supreme Court ruled that the MDC Alliance President, as known then, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, is not the legitimate president of the main opposition party in the country, and that have thrown a lot of people off balance, and some, of course, with a misunderstanding of the implications of this ruling. To discuss these and other issues related to this, and of course, what is going to happen thereafter, I'm joined by a senior lawyer and former MDCT spokesperson, Gutu. Mr. Gutu, I must welcome you to the agenda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Costa.
So in a nutshell, what does the Supreme Court's ruling mean to you?
In a nutshell, Costa, the Supreme Court ruling is actually a historic judgment. Not only in terms of the MDC as a political organization, but in terms of Zimbabwe's constitutional jurisprudence. Let me go back to what the Supreme Court judgment means politically. What it means politically is to say that the 3 Supreme Court justices, Justice Paddington Garwe, Justice Barrett Patel, who prepared the judgment and handed it down, with the concurrence of Justice Antonia Guava, unanimously upheld, or rather the decision of the lower court, i.e. the High Court decision that was made by Honorable Justice Edith Mshore in May 2018, in which she ruled that upon the death of our iconic leader, the late Dr. Morgan Tsvangirai, the MDC should have gone to an extraordinary Congress. And she also ruled, and this was also upheld by the Superior Court, the Supreme Court, that the purported appointment of 2 additional vice presidents on the 15th of July 2016, Mrs. Nelson Chamisa and Elias Mutsuri, was null and void. So what it basically means is the judgment says reset to factory settings, go back and hold an extraordinary Congress within 90 days. Let me highlight for the purposes of the viewers' clarity that the main purpose of an extraordinary Congress in this instance is only, and let me emphasize, only to elect the president of the MDC. So the main agenda, if not the only item on the agenda, will be to elect a new president.
The Supreme Court also ruled that this judgment is mute. Just correct me, I'm not familiar with the legal terms. Mute, or in other words, academic. What does this mean when a case is said to be academic or mute?
Costa, let me disabuse you of the notion that the Supreme Court judges, the learned 3 Supreme Court jurists say that the judgment is mute, full stop. When you go to page 39.
No, but what I mean is, what
I wanted to
mean?
explain.
Yeah, to say when a case is said to be mute or
when a
academic.
case is said to be mute or academic, it simply means that it has no impact practically, or put alternatively, it has no impact for practical purposes. So what Justice Bharat Patel stated unequivocally, clearly, on page 39 of the cycle-style judgment, what I want to call the operative portion of the judgment, is to say that although events have moved on, because time, as we know, Costa, is not static. Time moves on. The judge was alive to that. That there are 2 basically separate entities that had de facto emerged.
Yes, yes.
The Thokozani Khupe entity, we had our extraordinary Congress held at Stanley Square in Bulawayo in April 2018, and the Chamisa-led outfit had their purported Congress at Ascot Stadium in Gweru in May 2019. Both those purported Congresses were also set aside, declared null and void. The Khupe Congress of April 2018 in Bulawayo and the Chamisa Congress of May 2019 in Gweru, both rendered null and void.
That we do agree.
Yes.
That, from your explanation, that means...
I was still explaining the issue of muteness.
Yeah.
So the judge then went further to say notwithstanding that the matter might be mute. Let me emphasize, notwithstanding that the matter might be mute. However, because of the significance and importance of this matter, in as far as the issue of the rule of law and the constitutionalism is concerned, the court, as clearly stated by Honorable Justice of Appeal Barrett Patil, then found it necessary to go beyond mutiness and said, we are going to make a determination because this case is so important and we cannot just leave it on the aspect that is mute. We are going to make a determination to bring clarity, to say, assuming in the future there is going to be a dispute or disputes of this nature arising, the matter then must be set on record. In law, we call it setting a precedent. That is what the Supreme Court judges do or did when they came up with that historic judgment. It has set a precedent.
You and me do agree that this matter is very, very significant.
Absolutely important and significant.
Because, of course,
historically, politically, and legally.
The Constitution is at the center of it. But now the challenge is, like you said, the issue of practicality. Is this going to be implemented?
Absolutely easy. Oh, what the judges say
is to implement this.
Easy to implement. You don't need rocket science. You don't need rocket science. Because all you have to do is to say the 2014 structures. Most of the structures are intact. Granted, people have moved on. Some have passed on, unfortunately. Some have maybe left the country or joined other political parties. But still, all you need to do to hold a Congress is to say, come up with a quorum. Look at the constitution of the party. What does it say about a quorum? It is very easy to have a quorum. Once you have a quorum, then business of the extraordinary Congress can legitimately, lawfully, legally, and constitutionally be done.
According to the 2014 structures, I understand there are people like Pauriam Pariwa, the Lieutenant Karin Kore, there is Amos Chibaya, there is Yepmo Chidziva. These are the main people who constitute the 2014 structures. And
no. They are not the main people. They are just part of the standing committee. When you look at delegates to Congress, you are going cascading down to district. The district chair is a delegate to Congress. You then go to the province. The top six, yes, the top six of every province. You go to the district. So how many districts are there? We've got 210 districts, isn't it, in Zimbabwe? In the MDC, each constituency is a district. Like where we are here, this is under Harare East. So this will be Harare East district. The chair of this district would be a delegate to Congress. You go to the next constituency, Harare North. The chair of Harare North is a delegate to Congress. Then you go to Harare province as a province. The top six of Harare province, they'll also go to...
You are very aware of the reactions that have come out from people.
Oh, yeah. But most of them very nebulous reactions. Angry reactions. I mean, I've been laughing my lungs out. Absolutely enjoying myself.
So, I mean, that's a point that constituting a quorum might be a challenge.
No. Social media is not politics. This is why you find half the time we waste our time on social media. Politics is there with the people on the ground. You'll be surprised at how many people have access to social media in Zimbabwe. With respect, Costa, most of those people who make so much noise, they are doing that in the comfort of their homes or workplaces in Johannesburg, Pretoria, in the UK, in New Zealand, in Australia, in the United States, in Denmark, Sweden, wherever. They are not even on the voters' roll. They don't even come to vote. But when they make so much noise on social media, you might think the sun is about to eclipse. We're about to have an eclipse of the sun. They are so vocal on social media. But they are vocal. But their being vocal is inconsequential because the law makes it clear that just have an extraordinary Congress. You talked of the top leadership. If, say, 7% of the top of the National Standing Committee of 2014 say we are not coming, who cares? I mean, who gives a damn? Who gives a damn? They are not the majority of the congressional delegates.
I do beg to differ on that one.
How do you differ? How do you possibly differ?
It's not just noise on social media. If we were to go by the previous election, the 2018 election, if we were to go by numbers, obviously we can see that the number of people that they have pointed out to, including Nelson Chamisa himself, they've garnered so much force, and that points that they do.
Look, Costa, 2018 is 2018. 2023 is going to come. You are going to see a seismic shifting of political fortunes. Yeah. There was what I call the sympathy vote. It was actually literally Morgan Tsvangirai was on the ballot box virtually on July 30, 2018. People were voting because there was so much emotional attachment to Morgan Tsvangirai. He was the brand. And for any nincompoop out there to then say, it's me who is the brand. Kurota, Kurota akurambidzwe. But it was the Morgan Tsvangirai brand.
You do the same also in the MDC with Thokozani Khupe. You were using also Morgan Tsvangirai as a brand, and you did fail to garner the number.
No. All I'm saying is, when you look at us in 2018, look, we were short on funds. I literally and other colleagues bankrolled the campaign. I mean, you can't say because we're bankrolling the campaign, so you really are comparing with the party that huge chunk of money that they were unlawfully and illegitimately getting from the Political Finance Act. By the way, we want that money back. So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the 2018 for us was the brave statement. We said, let's stop this young dictator from getting into State House. Indeed, we stopped. 2023, who will stop him? Because we know what it is. A nascent dictator. A dictator is dangerous.
So are you suggesting that you are not going to succeed to stop him with this Congress issue?
No, we will. We will. Like I said, we don't hate him as a person. We don't hate anybody for any interest sake. We are saying, as Costa, we are Democrats. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in constitutionalism. All we are saying is, if you say, ndini chibaba, che politics ndine vanu, whatever ndine vanu means, to me it's vacuous, it's vapid and rabid. Okay, assuming that you say ndini chibaba, ndine vanu, we say, okay, ndiwe chibaba, come to the dance floor. Show that you can dance better than all other dancers. Come to the extraordinary Congress. Prove to yourself that in Baba. Why are you scared of subjecting yourself to an electoral process? Why do you want to be legitimated by a bunch of drunkards, by a bunch of vanguards, by a bunch of hooligans? Why, if you are a Democrat, if you are a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, like what we believe some of us are?
We are talking of someone who garnered over 2 million votes.
Look,
that must be a big challenge.
That's why I'm saying 2018, Costa, it's locked up in history. Locked up in history. You know what happened? 2008, we did very well. MDC did very well. Gave ZANU-PF a good run for its money. Then what happened in 2018? What happened in 2018? So for anyone who thinks, like I said, 2018 was a sympathy vote. Morgan Tsvangirai had been dead for about less than 4 months. There was a lot of what I call emotional attachment to the Tsvangirai brand. So when people voted, they were literally voting for Morgan Tsvangirai's legacy. So which legacy had actually been robbed by somebody who then said, I'm now the president. But like I'll tell you, 2023 is going to be a different ball game. There will be gnashing of teeth. It will be a complete whitewash. 2018 is history nicely locked up.
I want us to close this.
Won't be repeated.
I want to close this part of Chamisa. But there's another phrase, another term that I'm not familiar with, which the court pointed out, that the political realities on the ground. What does this mean to you? When they are saying because there are political realities on the ground.
The political realities, my understanding of the judgment, the judge was simply saying, look, the political realities are that this is a political party that is there, a political formation led by Chamisa and his group. So the judge took what I call judicial notice of that. But then he said that notwithstanding, it does not allow people to ride roughshod over their own party's constitution. So in other words, what simply people they have to do in the party is to cleanse themselves of the constitutional inadequacy or irregularity. And how do you do that? You do that by going to an extraordinary Congress. Whoever wins, whether it's A, B, C, D, or Z, whoever wins, I'll be the first one to congratulate them, to say, comrade, Makorogoto Amhlope, congratulations. That is the democracy that some of us so passionately believe in, Costa. So not for you to just stand up and say, you've got a mob of drunken hooligans and vanguards, and you and all that.
Where were these vanguards established? When was this vanguard established?
I don't even know, but they've been there. You know how menacing they are. But not that I fear them, I don't. But you know they are there.
You have been in the MDC, and why didn't you condemn them?
I've been very vocal. Look, from day one, when President Morgan Tsvangirai, may he so rest in peace, appointed the two vice presidents on the 15th.
But what I mean is,
I want to give you the historical,
on the militia,
the historical perspective. Talking about myself. Look, in Andizge poison in Okshoda, I was very clear, even to my late boss, Dr. Tsvangirai, kuti save zvamaita izvizvi azvisi paconstitution zvakapoinda 2 additional vice presidents. I came out very clearly.
No. I want us to talk about
about
the Vanguard issue. Was it established in 2020 after you were out of?
No, I don't know. Quite honestly, because I'm not party to Tagare.
But this Vanguard has been always there, even when you were in the party. Look, you didn't condemn it.
No, I think I was on record. If you check my record, Google Obed Gutu. How many times have I come out condemning even the Vanguard, even when I was the spokesperson of the party, to say we are a party of democracy, we are a party of tolerance, we are a party of goodwill, a party of empathy, a party of love, a party of solidarity. How can I be associated with a bunch of violent, ragtag, youths who are half the time sloshed on Msombodia or Mbanjo or whatever?
From your knowledge, are they trained?
Look, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But the fact of the matter is, empirically, the violent thugs masquerading as vanguards who call themselves vanguards, self-styled thugs who call themselves vanguards are there.
Okay, let's move to another aspect. There is a major question that the public would want to understand in as far as the implication of this Supreme Court ruling can have. You participated in an election as the MDCT, and there was the MDC Alliance. And we have the MPs and the councillors that were elected using the MDC Alliance ticket. And their MPs also were in Parliament who got through into Parliament via MDCT. Is Thokozani Khupe, assuming that you have roamed through the Congress, is she going to recall? Does she have the power to recall this?
I'll tell you what, because for the benefit of viewers, let me again explain to bring lucidity and clarity to these matters. One, the alliance was exactly what it is, i.e. an alliance. An alliance of 7 political parties. I'll mention some of them. The MDCT, then led by the late Dr. Tsvangirai, the MDC, led by Osman Khupe, PDP, led by Tendai Biti, Transform Zimbabwe, led by Jacob Ngari Vume,
yes.
Is it Zimfest or whatever they call themselves, led by Mantambara, and other smaller parties. But all in all, there were 7 political parties. If you look at that alliance agreement, I hope you have got it. I can give it to you if you want it. Okay. The agreement makes it very clear that each of the 7 political parties maintains, let me emphasize, maintains and retains its separate identity.
Sure.
Yes. That is the catch. Each of the 7 political parties maintains and retains, even during the elections. You are going into the election under the banner of alliance. But Kanandichi Vaku Transform Zimbabwe. I am a deployee of what? Transform Zimbabwe.
Yes.
So MDCT cannot recall me or cannot even discipline me because I am a deployee of Transform Zimbabwe. If I'm a deployee of PDP, like Wanabiti, he's there on a PDP ticket. Nana Settlement Chikunya and Mazimre and the other guys. They went there as PDP. And when you look at that alliance agreement, they remain PDP members. And to the best of my knowledge, last time I checked, the PDP has not dissolved itself. It is there, it still exists party, People's Democratic Party. They are PDP, they are there. So what it means is upon the death, unfortunately passing on of Dr. Tsvangirai, MDC now is going to have a new substantive leader after the Extraordinary Congress. That leader, if any deployee of Parliament or Council, then conducts themselves in such a way that they are disobeying party policy, or like saying, okay, we don't recognize you as our leader. Believe you me, the new leader, now the acting president, who happens to be Thokozani Khupe, can easily invoke section 129 subsection K of the Constitution of Zimbabwe and recall all relegate members of Parliament who were elected under the MDC ticket. She can actually do it now. I've heard on the social media people saying, giving so-called solidarity statements, saying, rubbishing the Supreme Court judgment. That to me, Costa, is a serious act of misconduct, which is strong enough or justifiable enough to have those people recalled. And believe you me, I can bet you my bottom bond not, my brother, I can bet you my bottom bond not. People are going to be recalled.
Here is the challenge. Yes. That means she is going to...
And they will be recalled.
She is going to benefit from both sides. She has MPs who went into Parliament via MDCT, and then she also can preside over the other MPs who... How can that be happen? No. That's what the public has got a challenge now.
As I'm talking to you now, the acting president, the lawful, legitimate, constitutional and legally recognized acting president of the MDC is Thokozani Khupe. That is the position. Factually, that is the position at law. De facto and de jure. de facto and de jure. Right now, she is the acting president, like her or not, but it is what it is. It is what it is. She is the acting president. Up until such a time that there is that extraordinary Congress. If she contests and wins, she becomes the the substantive president. Whoever then wins, if she doesn't win, maybe there's somebody else who X wins or Y wins or Z wins. X or Y or Z becomes the new substantive president. So right now there's no confusion because pana one acting president. One acting president, Khupe. There's no problem.
Well, let's take a very bit. You are privy to what the development that have been taking place, of course, around August 2017 to up until the death of Morgan Tsvangirai. One of the challenges that people have is that Khupe disappeared from the MDC. I mean,
that's a blue lie. Before you even finish your question, don't tell me you believe that crass propaganda from the other guys. How do you mean she disappeared? She has been there. Look, I'm not there to speak on behalf of Khupe. She's a phone call away. You can phone her. If you don't have a number, I can give you.
You were the spokesperson.
Yes.
And obviously you are privy to the details.
Yes, I'm privy. That's what I'm saying. She didn't disappear.
As far as you remember, when did she last attend the party?
She was attending all the meetings, to the best of my knowledge. All the meetings, I think if she missed the meeting, maybe once or twice, she was going obviously for usual medical checkups. She's a cancer survivor to South Africa. Then she would obviously excuse herself when she goes down south for medical checkups. Those are the occasions that I know she didn't pitch for the meetings when she was attending to her health. And I'm sure she does that periodically. Look, and you can't say somebody who has got a legitimate medical reason to absent themselves for a medical checkup. There are
some reports do suggest that she wasn't in agreement with the late Morgan Tsvangirai on the alliance issue.
That's why I'm saying, Costa, I am not going to speak on her behalf. I can give you a phone number so that you will be able to interview her.
No,
because it's unfair for me to speak on her behalf.
You have worked together.
Yes, we have.
You have worked together.
Yes.
After the MDCT.
Yes.
You have been working together in the MDCT.
Yes.
And obviously you should have details.
That's why I'm saying, why don't you talk to her?
Well, I do agree that could be medical reasons, but then suddenly after the death of Tsvangirai, then she became well.
I'm surprised you bought into that propaganda, that lame propaganda. She did not abandon the party. At no point did she ever abandon the party. Hear it from me. I can take the oath in a court of law or whatever to say she did not, because I know from my own personal knowledge. Those people who say she abandoned, they are spinning, the usual puerile, virile, vapid, and vacuous and rabid propaganda. We have got thick skins. When we hear that kind of vacuous propaganda, we laugh it off. Because it is exactly what it is, vacuous, empty, puerile, frivolous.
We are going to give our viewers an opportunity to ask some questions to you. But before that, I just want to get a clearance from you. Supposedly this Congress goes well, and you have a Congress. Are you guys going to work with the likes of Professor Wilson Khupe, Tendai BT, and the rest of the guys?
Look, I'll speak for myself, because it is difficult really for me to speak for other people without... I haven't sounded out their opinion. But I've no, as an individual, as Obed Gutu, I have absolutely no problem in working with anyone. Anyone, let me repeat, anyone. If we share the same ideological trajectory, the same beliefs in democracy, the same beliefs and respect for the rule of law, the same belief and respect for constitutionalism, non-violence, non-sexism, non-tribalism, non-racism. I can even work with you if you believe in those ethos and values. So I don't want to personalize these issues to say I can't work with X because maybe I don't like how he looks. I can't work with Z because I don't like how Z looks. All I'm saying is it's a question of meeting of minds. If our minds are meeting.
There is a concern out there that the opposition should at least unite and form a formidable force against ZANU-PF. So my worry to you is, from my conversation with you, you suggest that you are not ready to work with likes of Tendai BT.
No, when did I say that? Costa, don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say I am not ready to work with anyone, BT included. I said as long as all we are saying is, as long as we see together, we share the same values, the same beliefs politically, ideologically, I have no problems, whether you are black, white, green, yellow, pink, or whatever. So it's not a question of character. It's a question of the values, the principles, the ideology. If we share those, if we have those in common, you're game.
We are going to the Congress, and Khupe is the acting president. Who do you think should take over?
Look, I don't want to tell you whom I think should take over. Let the best man or the best woman win. Whoever wants to present themselves. I don't want to be divisive. This is democracy in motion. Any member of MDC are properly and constitutionally entitled to present themselves. For
some suggest
that
you are
post,
rallying behind Douglas Ngonzolo.
Look, all I'm saying, Costa, all I'm saying is, look, whoever wants to present themselves for leadership of the MDC, I am a Democrat. I would say, please, comrade, go ahead and do so. Present yourself. So for you then to say, Gutu or support Ningi or Ningi,
But what's yours?
I have no dog in the fight. I'll tell you what. I've got one horse in this race. My horse is democracy.
Would you have any problem if Douglas Ngonzolo takes over?
I said my horse is democracy. So whoever is the popular choice of the people, no bizarangu rondo banyanaro. Let democracy be my horse. Bizarangu democracy.
There is another issue here. That it took 2 years for you to challenge. I mean, to see this challenge coming into the court. Why did it take so long? Why did it take so long?
Look, I think that question might best be answered by Elisha Mashavira. But some of us have been, I've been on record to say that, you remember, unfortunately, we lost Vachangirai on Valentine's Day 2018. If you go back, just Google me if you maybe you can't remember. I've been consistent to say we should have the new leader chosen by extraordinary Congress. If you remember, bogus National Council a few days after Morgan Tsvangirai's death, I walked out of 4th floor. I said I cannot be party to this Mahumbu Agadai.
No, but the challenge is...
I mean, I'm just talking about myself.
As a man of principle,
yes.
That means if another wrong is going to happen, you are going to wait also until 2 years or 3 years.
No,
then
no,
we start
no.
challenging it.
It's not me who brought this matter to court. It's Elisha Mashavira.
But you, as a man of principle,
why don't you get in touch
now?
now?
You should have challenged this as early as possible. Don't you think so?
No, we did that. Like I said, we did that. When you go back, you go back to the Murimoga case.
You didn't file anything in the court season.
You wanted me to file a Zobed Gutu or what? And this is
because you're not in agreement with the issues. Because you're saying you're wrong.
But
isn't
this is a political party. It's not a one-man band. Obed Gutu is just one of millions of people Wangarim MDC. Unless we should all the millions of us, each one of us in our millions should have filed suit in the High Court. But then it becomes a practical...
Well, there is an earlier question here that has been posed by one of our viewers, Simbarase Chinyuku, is saying, what are the implications of this judgment pertaining to sitting councillors? I'm sure you've answered that already. And then there's another, Enoch Tsuro, he's saying, Mr. Gutu, you resigned from MDCT and Pollard. If you are intending to come back, on what capacity? This is the question.
Did I say I'm coming back? I'm just talking here. I think I'm talking as a lawyer, and I'm also talking as a former spokesperson of the party.
So you're not coming back?
Look, what I'm going to do tomorrow, I may tell you tomorrow I'm going to be wearing jeans, but I wake up wearing a suit. I think
it was nice talking to you. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much.
A lot of you have heard it from a senior lawyer.
Oh, that's a handshake. We should have.
You have heard it from the senior lawyer and former MDCT spokesperson, Obed Gutu. He was talking to us on the implications of the Supreme Court judgment. You have heard it now that Dr. Khupe has got the power to recall rogue councillors and MPs who might have, of course, showed signs that are contrary to the leadership, contrary to the constitution of the party. And until then, thank you so much for joining me.